What's going on, everybody? This is your boy Martin, aka Level, here, back today with another video. Ladies and gentlemen, your boy is back today with the DKDKTV reaction. We haven't done DKDKTV in a while, and you guys specifically asked for the explained version of, I hope I say this right, Paldogangsan. I hope I said that. Paldogangsan. You guys have asked after we did the album reaction if I could react DKDKTV's explained version of this song. So that is what we are here to do today. Okay, this was highly requested as well, so we are definitely going to react to it before we move on to the next installment, the next album of BTS. Okay, before we get into it, I just want to make one big announcement, something you guys have been asking for a while. Your boy finally got a P.O Box, okay? I'm going to be making this announcement on every single video moving forward in case you guys want to send me anything. Over the last couple of weeks, even months, you guys have been asking, Martin, when are you going to get your P.O Box? When are you going to get your P.O Box? I get private DMs on Patreon. Martin, I want to send you this. I want to send you some snacks. I want to send you a fan letter. I would like to draw a picture of you and send it to you. Do you have a P.O Box yet? Your boy finally got a P.O Box, okay? So I will leave all the information from my P.O Box in the description down below in case you guys want to send me anything. You definitely don't have to, but if you would like to, you can send me anything. I don't care what it is. It could be a whoopee cushion for all I give a damn. Whatever you want, I will open here on the channel as long as it is appropriate, okay? Anyways, if you would like to send me something, please, I will leave all the information in the description down below, okay? I do want to I don't think it really matters because I think if the P.O Box gets too full, they'll just tell me, hey, Martin, your P.O Box is full. You'll need to come pick up your stuff because we have more packages for you. But I do want to kind of note that the P.O Box is a 5x11. So think of like a shoebox. As big as a shoebox is, that's about as big as the P.O Box is. At the time, that's just what I did. It's kind of like a small child. If we need to get a bigger one, because, you know, maybe you guys are sending some, you know, a lot of stuff, then I definitely will get a bigger one. That does not matter. But just in case, think about a shoebox size. That's about as big as the P.O Box is. Now, don't be alarmed to be like, I don't want to send nothing about as big as a shoebox in case other people do. They told me that they won't turn anything away. They'll just kind of place it somewhere in the back, and then I need to come pick it all up, and they'll alert me when my P.O Box is getting full to come get stuff. So don't be alarmed. I don't think it really does matter, but send me whatever you would like. It could be a letter if you would like to send me something. Some people say they've wanted to send me Korean snacks. Very interesting how that might go because I don't know. Your boy's picky on food, but I'll eat it. Okay. Well, if you guys send me anything, I promise I will open it here on the channel and or eat it if it's food or anything like that. I promise. I just want to say that I really appreciate the fact that people want to send me stuff, whether it's fan letters or pictures or anything. I think that's super cool. I didn't even think we'd come this far on the channel, if we're being completely honest. And all this is possible only because of you guys. So shout out for all the love and support that you guys have shown me over the last several weeks, several months, and even the year and a half that I've been doing YouTubing. So again, I appreciate every single each and one of you. But let's not waste some more time. Let's get right into it. Just had to make that quick announcement. Again, remember, it will be in the description down below, as well as my Patreon, which is absolutely 100% free if you would like to go follow me there as well. But let's not waste some more time. Let's get right into the DKDKTV explained version of this song. It would mean a lot if you guys could please smash that like button, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel, as all these things help with the channel moving forward. And without any further ado, let's get into the video.
BTS has been breaking records, appearing at the Grammys and all, but one other thing noticeable is the fact that they are promoting Korea and its language more than ever. Now, people are digging into their older songs and finding it hard to fully understand this one particular song called Paldogangsan, also known as the Satoori rap.
Satoori rap. Satoori rap. Okay. Sorry.
Rap. So to begin with, the title Paldogangsan basically means our land or Korea. If you chop the word up, the word 팔도 comes from the Joseon dynasty when Korea was divided into 8 provinces, which are 함경도, 평안도, 황해도, 경기도, 강원도, 충청도, 전라도, and 경상도. And Gangsan means the beautiful mountains and rivers you can find in
Wow. Beautiful.
means the beautiful mountains and rivers you can find in Korea. Basically, all of these regions had and still have their distinct culture and dialects. The fun of this song is that BTS members are representing each region they originally come from by singing in dialects so-called Satoori. Already in the intro hook, Jimin first speaks in the Busan dialect. It shows one of the typical expressions of Busan by using the famous word ma, which is a way to call a person. Morakano means what did you just say? So basically, the Busan dialect has some sort of tough feel to it, often associated with manliness.
내가 이거는 완전 내지 이거는.
그만 좀 튕기라 공기 주차 합법이죠.
가시나야, 네 내랑 사귈래?
When was that? Whoa, 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 whoa. Stop rejecting me before I kick your ass. Okay, fine. That's all you had to say.
가시나야, 네 내랑 사귈래?
Then J-Hope speaks in the Jeolla or Gwangju dialect. We can hear words such as ranke, which is one of the ending words in the Jeolla dialect. Many words in the Jeolla dialect end with either ranke, danke, 불어, and yoing.
말 시키지 말란게요.
이상하다게.
직접 마중을 다 나오시고.
몸 상한 데는 없고.
One characteristic of the Jeolla dialect is to speak a little fast and drag the last syllable while raising its accent.
참말로 무엇을 잘못 먹었는갑다. 서방 알면 똘가상에 복숭을 훑으리다다가 벌집을 쓰셔갖고 대구박이고 나빤대고 차다 쪼사버릴 주둥박이라 허겄네.
I always think that the Korean language is like astonishing. I think it's pretty much all languages. I'm only used to English and Spanish. Do I speak Spanish fluently? Absolutely not. Do I understand specific phrases, words? Of course. But I was never fully taught. My mom will swear up and down we were taught as kids. We weren't. Like, I don't know where she gets that delusion from. We were taught to a certain point, but not enough to speak fluently. We were taught enough to learn, like I said, certain words, certain phrases. But it's weird though, like when my grandma, my great-grandmother speaks Spanish to me, I understand her completely. I don't know what it is. When for some reason, if my mom was to say something in Spanish, I would not be able, I'd be like, I think you said this, but for some reason, when my grandma just says it to me, I understand it like almost completely. I don't, it's weird. And it's probably because growing up in the summers, we always would spend every day pretty much at my great-grandmother's house. She always kind of watched over us in the summer since we're not in school. And so, like I said, she speaks English, but primarily Spanish. And maybe that's why, as I'm just so used to her voice particularly, maybe it just clicks a little bit better. I don't know. The brain is weird. My brain is weird. But I definitely think it's interesting that not only do that each member represents a different part, right? A different region. And that's absolutely cool. And these different regions have different ways of saying or speaking the Korean language or adding certain things to it. Kind of like here in Texas, we saw J-Hope's howdy y'all that he did.
Howdy y'all, 뭐 이런 것들 해주고.
I learned the phrase howdy y'all.
이 재밌는 게 이거 발음을 어떻게 하는 거지 해가지고 유튜브에 쳐봤는데 바로 스폰지밥이 있더라고요.
So the funny thing is, I was trying to figure out how to say it, and I looked it up on YouTube, and it was SpongeBob.
Which, by the way, he learned from SpongeBob, which is hilarious. But he definitely doesn't know. In that episode, SpongeBob and Patrick are saying howdy y'all. That episode, they're actually making fun of Texas and the accent and the way we talk here.
Look, Patrick, I'm Texas. Howdy, y'all.
I'm Texas too.
Howdy, y'all.
Get a dog, little Arnie.
The stars at night are dull and dim whenever they have to be over dumb stupid Texas. Patrick, what am I now?
Stupid?
No, I'm Texas.
What's the difference?
I don't think J-Hope knew that when he said it, but that's what it's for. That episode of SpongeBob, they're making fun of Texas. So again, I think that's absolutely hilarious, but pretty adorable. But anyways, and J-Hope didn't mean no disrespect. But like here in Texas, we say y'all. I mean, that is one thing. Our accents, I don't know. I'm from Texas. Do y'all hear an accent from me? Because in my head, like I know I'm from here, so I don't hear an accent, but I definitely can hear certain accents. Like you go to New York or New Jersey and they have a whole different kind of sound. People just talk differently, Tennessee, wherever around the United States. So it makes sense that in Korea, in the different regions, people would have different accents or different ways of speaking as well. But I definitely think it's cool that they decided to represent all the different regions between each member of the group. I think that's cool. And that's one thing that BTS always does, is like to make everybody feel included, right? We don't like to exclude anybody. We like make everybody feel included. We like to, you know, they're all about representing. I'm trying to find the words to exactly explain what I want to say, but I think you guys get the idea. I just like how they decided to do that. It makes the whole region, it makes the whole makes all of Korea feel like included. You know what I'm saying? And I really think that's dope. That's a good representation.
Suga speaks in the Daegu dialect, which is similar but slightly different to the Busan dialect, since they're in the same Gyeongsang province. Even Korean people have difficulty distinguishing between the two. But it's known that the location of stress and intonations are slightly different within sentences.
얼마 전에 폰 샀는데 막 갔다.
얼마 전에 폰 샀는데 막 갔다.
내 차에 들려 발음.
Some notable points in Suga's verse are
Let
vocabulary.
me hear that one more time.
얼마 전에 폰 샀는데 막 갔다.
얼마 전에 폰 샀는데 막 갔다.
내 차에
The first dude, this guy on the right, his sounds, it's very close. The guy on the right sounds more relaxed, whereas this guy, there sounds like a little bit more energy behind the way he says it, but it's damn close. Yeah, that's hard to tell the difference. I mean, you can, if I couldn't see his face and I just had to hear, I wouldn't be able to really tell a difference. I'm gonna be real honest, but it's slight there, but you can definitely hear like the more emotion, enthusiasm, energy, I guess you could say, in the way he said the sentence. As more, his seems more relaxed, more calm.
들려 발음.
Some notable points in Suga's verse are vocabulary such as 아재, 머시마, and 가시나, which respectively mean old man, boy, and girl. The original standard would be 아저씨, 남자, and 여자. This vocabulary pretty much applies the same to Busan or any other place in the Gyeongsang province. Now J-Hope raps in the Cholla dialect again, which is known to be very friendly and affectionate. It's quite different to the Gyeongsang dialect, which sometimes can sound even hostile. If you just look at J-Hope's verse, the lyrics itself represent the nature of the dialect. He's basically greeting everyone around and calling everyone to come out and enjoy the party. Also, a very
Bringing
important
everybody
and
together.
essential vocabulary of the Cholla dialect appears here, which is 거시기. 거시기 is an
거시기.
almighty word that can replace any word in the Korean language. Usually it's used as the meaning of hey, or you know, like the Gyeongsang dialect's ma. But it can also turn into pronouns like it or that, meaning it can mean any word. So it comes in handy when old people can't remember the word they want to say, or when people want to say an embarrassing word.
Kind of like a filler.
전술적인 거시기는 한마디로 머시기 할 때 거정 갑옷을 거시기 한다. 알겠지? 거시기 잘 하라고. 뭐라카는 문제 자식 주고. 네 번의 거시기와 먼저 쓰인 거시기는 대략 두 가지 정도로 그 뜻을 압축해 볼 수 있습니다. 머시기와 거시기는 죽어도 모르겠습니다.
And once again, you can notice the endings of each word being dragged and toned up.
You know what's interesting? I didn't pay attention to that. Them dragging the ending of the word. I didn't pay attention to that. But it's the subtle details that they included. Not only did they do, which I'm sure they're aware, but not only did they do the research to try to make it sound and find the word specifically that each region uses, they even go so far as to, like in this case, they drag the word, right? The small details like this that they incorporate are the ones that always go over my head. So thank God for explained videos like this to break it down for someone like me who wasn't able to catch those things, who needed the extra additional information and help. But BTS taking that little extra time to add the small details like that into their music.
애들이 계속해서 자라나고 사투리 암호 갱상도 아이가 우수하고 정경이 딱
Now we go into the pride of each region, starting with the Gyeongsang province's Sinla의 Hwarang. Sinla was the origin country of Gyeongsang province and once united the three nations Goguryeo, Baekje, Sinla into a unified Sinla, but eventually in the 10th century it was conquered by the Goryeo dynasty. It had an elite warrior group called the Hwarang, meaning flowering knights. The Hwarangs were a social club of young males that gathered to study art, culture, religion, and martial arts. They also acted and fought according to specific commandments called the Sesok Oge, which were like the following. So in this part, V is proud of this elite group and claims that the descendants and the bloodline of them is still running in their veins of Gyeongsang people. Plus, V acted in the Korean drama Hwarang as well. Also, if you look at Jungkook's verse, he's overly proud and confident of his Satoori and culture. Note the two usages of aiga in these sentences. Momo aiga is a way you end a sentence by asking, am I right or not? Try telling me that I'm wrong. So it's like this one-directional question possibly forcing the other person to answer yes or yes.
키는 내가 좀 더 컸다 아이가.
Now you kind of get a grasp of what Gyeongsang people are like. Very proud, confident, and maybe even handsome. Now it's Jeolla time again. J-Hope can't lose to the Gyeongsang boys, so he brings up the famous dish of the Jeolla province, which is bibimbap. Jeonju bibimbap is the most well-known and probably the best bibimbap in Korea. It is one of the most famous, healthy, and pretty dishes that represent Korea.
I was gonna say it's very beautiful. Let me go back on that. Hold on. Y'all know I'm very picky about food and stuff like that, but does this not look like it comes out of a damn cookbook? That looks delicious. Holy crap. Look at all the flavor and stuff that would be. Oh my goodness, yeah. Yeah, I can't lie. My eyes are kind of drawn away from the green stuff over here, but I would still eat it. This looks delicious, though.
Pretty dishes
That's
that
beautiful.
represent Korea to the world. The competition on which is the best region has become more intense. Suga approaches J-Hope and the other members by saying, do you know what kaga kaga means? It may sound like goo goo gaga to other people, but to Gyeongsang people, it actually has the meaning of, is that person that person?
가가 가가. 아니에요?
The first ga is a fast pronunciation of 그아, which means that guy. The second ga means is. The third ga refers to the guy we've talked about before. And the fourth ga is finally a question mark. So basically, Gyeongsang people are making fun of other regions that don't have the complexity. Another fun and classic example would be the way Gyeongsang people pronounce this. Other regions pronounce all of them the same, but people from Busan or Daegu can differentiate them all due to the intonation or stress, like this. Also, in the next line, Suga and Jimin say...
Yeah, I was about to say, no disrespect. It's because I just don't know the language. All these sounded exactly the same to me, if we're being completely honest. I would love to learn Korean, though, but man, they say English is, I think, the hardest language to learn, I think. If I was to learn Korean, though, what apps would y'all recommend to use? Is there an app specifically? I've always been, ever since I've discovered the boys, and, I've always been fascinated with Korean culture. The more and more I learn about them and everything, and I would love to start maybe learning the language and or picking up certain phrases and stuff. I think that'd be really cool. What app would y'all recommend if I was to start trying to do that? But as somebody who doesn't know any Korean, that sounded exactly the same.
This. Yeah,
also
in the next line, Suga and Jimin say, who says Gyeongsangdo is rough? By this line, we can examine the stereotype and Gyeongsang people not approving it. But it's kind of funny and ironic that the way they're saying it and actually doing it seem a little rough. Ultimately, they're reinforcing the stereotype. Next, the Anabara movement is introduced. This was a
Anabara?
movement during the 1997 IMF bailout request situation when Korea's economy had failed
What happened there?
and many were driven to the streets or gone broke. Each letter of the Anabara stands for 아끼다, 나누다, 바꾸다, 다시 쓰다, saving, sharing, exchanging, and reusing. The people voluntarily participated and made this movement a success, sharing with neighbors and reducing costs. Although this movement isn't necessarily originated from the Gyeongsang province, its mindset and mission is of what usually Gyeongsang people are like, sharing and caring for each other. Gyeongsang people have this catchphrase like 우리가 남이가, 친구 아이가, which means we are no stranger to each other, or aren't we all friends?
우리가 남이가.
Actually, at the end of the verse, this appears in the Daegu dialect as well. 우리가 어디 남인가. On to the other parts in the verse, you can again find the confident and tough characteristics of Gyeongsang people. 지긴다, 지기네 is another well-used expression for saying something is outstanding or the best. The subtle 아주라 마 is actually related to the Busan local baseball team culture.
Poor baby.
When a baseball lands in the audience seat, the crowd shouts "Ajura, Ajura" constantly to give the ball to the nearest kid or baby.
Oh.
In conclusion, we can see that despite being tough or direct on the outside, Gyeongsang people have a warm heart and care for others more than anybody in the inside.
Very interesting.
So J-Hope decides not to back off to the Gyeongsang-do dudes. He starts with the epic words "shibang," which is a very popular term equivalent to 거시기 in the Cholla dialect. Shibang means now in the dictionary. However, it has more of the nuance of "hey, look at me now," or "what you saying now?"
시방 한 17만 정도 될걸?
네 시방 나 내력 테스트 하냐?
Plus, sometimes people mishear it as the most used curse word in Korean, "씨발," so it sometimes can be mistaken. Probably that's the reason J-Hope used it as the first word of his verse. Then he goes on with words like "흠이 어쩌스까나," which are basically exclamation words that could be maybe perceived as "oh my god" or "OMG."
하나를 먹어버렸어요.
It could be either positive or negative.
I'm glad that
But
he's
in this
incorporating
case, it
like
would be a
videos and stuff like
sarcastic,
that,
"Wow,
so that
what
you
should
can
I-"
hear when the phrase is being used or when that word specifically is being used. Shout out to DK for taking the time to do that as well. Like, he doesn't have to do that, to incorporate examples of when this is being used. That's actually really cool, and it's helping a lot. It's pretty interesting. So you get an idea of what it's actually supposed to sound like or when it's being used
I do with
properly.
you guys towards the Gyeongsang
I like that.
members. The battle goes on as J-Hope now turns offense. Shiburida is a strong way of saying talking. It would be closer to babble or chatter. This word exists both in Gyeongsang and Jeolla area, but changes in usage. In the Gyeongsang area, it's used like 뭐라 시부리 쌌노?
뭐라고 시부리 쌌노?
And in the Jeolla area, it's used as J-Hope does. Both words, shibang and shiburida, kind of sound like the curse word shi, so it sounds very strong in a sense. Plus, J-Hope keeps on going offense by saying things like this. Aguji is also a strong way of saying mouth, usually used to say shut your mouth. While provoking why their mouths are all shut now, he says that he can make all the holes in your body open by eating 흑산도 홍어. Hongo is a type of stingray that's caught near the Jeolla region. This Jeolla specialty is especially famous in an island called 흑산도. The ray is fermented and conditioned in a particular way, and after this process, it emits a very strong odor. And many Koreans, including me, dread going even near it. The odor is so strong that people dare not eat it, but usually people from Jeolla actually enjoy it. So basically, J-Hope is teasing the Gyeongsang-do dudes that they go nuts if they eat hongo. Now in the
I was gonna say, I've never in a million years even thought about eating a stingray. I've never, that never once crossed my mind. I'm gonna be real honest. And by just looking at it, you can see on their faces, their expressions, that the odor's not the best, and the taste is not all there either. Like he said, some people like it, but their expression said something completely different. By looking at it, it doesn't look bad. Am I willing to try it? Probably not, unless I don't know. I don't know. If BTS offered to me, I'm eating it. I'm eating it. I don't care. I'll eat the whole damn plate. I'll lick it clean if they ask me to eat it. But by looking at it, it doesn't look too bad. Have you ever had this before? Have any of y'all ever had this? And or have you been around it? And what was your experience like tasting it if you've had it? And or what was the smell like? He said the odor was very strong. How was your experience if any of y'all have ever been around it before? I don't know. I don't think I'd even go near it.
And many Koreans, including me, dread going even near it. The odor is so strong that people dare not eat it, but usually people from Jeolla actually enjoy it. So basically, J-Hope is teasing the Gyeongsangdo dudes that they go nuts if they eat hongo. Now in the lyrics, a tricky part appears. Suddenly he starts talking about months and becoming pregnant. Many armies have tried to decipher what this means on the internet, but up to this day, nobody knows what he's talking about. So in conclusion, it's just whatever he thought of at that time. This is actually a characteristic of the Jeolla dialect as well. Because of the fast speed and friendliness, Jeolla people tend to include totally irrelevant or very detailed info inside the conversations.
동작그만 밑장빼기냐? 내 패하고 정마담 패를 밑에서 뺐지. 내가 빙다리 핫바지라 보이나 이 새끼야.
Still, he does introduce Mudungsan, which is a very high mountain located in Gwangju. It's known that if you hike up to the summit, you can see far enough to Jeju Island. Also, there's a special watermelon that grows only on this mountain, and it's famous for its enormous size. J-Hope has linked these two big things to a baby to be born, and says he's a bangtan, one of them, which are meant to be huge and successful.
기아가 좀 솔직히 한번 생각해봤는데 경상도 남자가 좀 잘생긴 것 같다. 아니에요, 형님. 아니야, 맞다 이거. 조용히 하시오 그냥.
Finally, the Satoori battle has come to an end, and at this point it has become meaningless and just bickering between the members. Suga brags that he thinks men from Gyeongsang region are handsome, then J-Hope says that's not a fact, and they go on back and forth bickering. But weirdly enough, there are widespread stereotypes that men from Gyeongsang are handsome in average.
놈들 난 소스테이로 만나 서울에서 나서 서울말 잘 배웠다 요즘은 모디 사투리가 다 벼슬이다만 그래 인정할게 악센트들이 멋있다 하지만 여긴 표준인 만큼 정직해 처음과 끝이 분명하고 딱 정립돼 한국말의 표본으로 정리되지 only ask goes with English you never understand it okay 솔직히 경상도 사투리는 남자라면 쓰고 싶게 만들어 졸라도 말들은 너무나 친근해 한 번 입에 담으면 오야 내가 다 기분해 Why keep fighting 별것 같은 한국말들 올려다 봐 이렇게 마주 안 같은 하늘 살짝 오글거리지만 전부 다 잘났어 말 다 통하잖아 문상부터 말았어.
Now it's time for President King Namjoon to wrap up everything and end the fight. As a Seoul, or technically Ilsan person, he says that the Seoul Korean is the standard, and it becomes the good example of a well-structured language. Also, he does admit that Saturis are attractive, that as a man he wants to use the Gyeongsang dialect, and Jeolla dialect sounds so friendly, but still he points out that there's no gain in fighting with each other. This actually stems from deeper history where Jeolla and Gyeongsang regions had hostility towards each other during the 70s, and even until now. It's called 지역감정 in Korean. The history is very complicated, but it basically started as politicians and presidents were mostly elected from the Gyeongsang region and started developing only the Gyeongsang cities, leaving out the Jeolla province. Also, the politicians used this hatred towards each other to manipulate votes and etc. Furthermore, if you go deeper, actually in the old Korean days, the two regions were all different nations that had war with each other and small interaction. So actually the subtle and deep-rooted hostility comes from way back. Anyways, RM finishes the fight and says we are one Korea that might have different accents and dialects, but at the end perfectly understand each other, which is the only thing that matters.
Yep.
So BTS has accomplished 2 missions in Paldogangsan. 1, showing the diverse dialects and funny sides of them, and 2, sending a message of peace and unification among the Korean nation, easing 지역감정. Just one more thing. Although it's ambiguous, deriving from the title's name, Paldogangsan, BTS might have hidden their message towards reunification of the current war-split North and South Korea, because the 8 provinces include those 2 from North Korea as well. It is true that North Korean people speak differently, but at the end, we can also understand them easily.
I appreciate this. I appreciate y'all bringing this to my attention. isn't it interesting how at first you think, oh, this is just a cool song that the boys wrote. And without DKDKTV, I would have never really truly understood how deep this song really goes, the meaning behind it, bringing different regions that are diverse and trying to unify them together. Kind of like how you said, we all, may have differences, but at the end of the day, we can all understand each other. We know what each other's gone through. There should be no fighting. You hear this song at first when I first did the album reaction, you don't get all of that. But thanks to you guys and this explanation, I have a way better understanding. And I finally I get to understand how, like I said, how deep the meaning of this song really goes. I would have never known this. So shout out to y'all. I never would have been able to figure this out on my own. It's all thanks to you and people like DK to go and make a video. Is Jimin flipping me off? I just now realized that, bro. Like, what? Thank you all. If y'all ever have, y'all know I love explain videos. We used to watch bookish theories a lot back in the day, and I really need to get back to start doing that, just so that I can start to fully understand a lot more about the songs. And if there's an explain and stuff, like some songs are pretty, some of the songs are self-explanatory, right? You can figure it out. But songs like this, I never in a million years would have figured out. So thank you, and thank you, DK. But that's going to go to do it right there, folks. Hope you guys enjoy. As always, make sure, as always, to hit that like button, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel, as all these things help with the channel moving forward. And until next time, peace.